Deep in the heart of Kentucky, shrouded in mist and shadow, lies the Pope Lick Train Trestle Bridge. A rickety wooden structure, it stretches precariously over a deep wooded ravine. Locals tell whispers of a creature that haunts the trestle, a being born from darkness and tragedy. They call it the Pope Lick Monster. Some say the creature was once a circus freak, horribly deformed and driven mad by cruelty. Others believe it to be a demon summoned from the depths by some unholy ritual gone wrong. Whatever its true origins, one thing is certain. The Pope Lick Monster is a creature of nightmare. The legend of the Pope Lick Monster is more than just a campfire story. It's a chilling reminder that some places hold secrets best left undisturbed. The Trestle Bridge stands as a silent sentinel, a monument to the darkness that lurks just beyond our sight. Descriptions of the Pope Lick Monster vary, but certain terrifying details remain consistent. Witnesses describe a hulking figure covered in matted fur with bloodshot eyes that glow an eerie red in the darkness. Its arms are said to be abnormally long, ending in twisted, claw-like hands. Some say the monster's face is grotesquely contorted, frozen in a horrifying grin. Others claim it possesses the head of a goat, complete with curved horns and a chilling, vacant stare. Whatever the truth may be, the creature's appearance is enough to strike terror into the heart of even the bravest soul. The Pope Lick Monster is said to possess a hypnotic power. It lures its victims onto the trestle using mimicry and deception. The sound of a crying baby, a woman's voice calling for help, all are tricks employed by the creature to draw the unsuspecting to their doom. One moonless night, 4 friends, Mark, Jessica, David and Sarah, found themselves drawn to the legend of the Pope Lick Monster. They were teenagers, filled with a potent mixture of fear and bravado, eager to test the boundaries of their courage. The legend spoke of a creature, half man, half goat, that lured people to their doom on the old railway trestle. The old trestle bridge, shrouded in darkness and whispered warnings, seemed like the perfect place to challenge their fears. It stood as a silent sentinel, its wooden beams creaking under the weight of countless ghost stories. As they approached the bridge, a cold wind whipped through the trees, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and decay. The rustling leaves seemed to whisper secrets, adding to the eerie atmosphere. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy that sent shivers down their spines. A thick fog began to roll in, cloaking the surroundings in a ghostly veil. Despite their fear, the group pressed on, their footsteps echoing on the asphalt road leading to the trestle. Each step seemed louder than the last, as if the night itself was amplifying their presence. "Maybe we should turn back," Jessica whispered, her voice trembling slightly. Her eyes darted around, searching the shadows for any sign of movement. Mark, ever the fearless leader, scoffed at her suggestion. He was determined to prove that the legend was nothing more than a myth. "Don't be scared," he said, his voice a brash attempt to mask his own growing unease. He placed a reassuring hand on Jessica's shoulder, trying to steady her nerves. "It's just a story, there's nothing out here." But deep down, even Mark couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone, that something was watching them from the shadows. The group reached the foot of the bridge, its massive wooden beams looming above them like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. The air was thick with tension, and the only sound was the distant hoot of an owl, adding to the eerie atmosphere. The old railroad ties, spaced far apart, seemed to mock them, daring them to cross. Each tie was worn and weathered, a testament to the countless years it had stood against the elements. Ignoring the prickling sensation on the back of his neck, Mark stepped onto the first tie. His foot landed with a creak, and he hesitated for a moment, feeling the bridge's age beneath him. "See?" he called back to the others. "Nothing to it." His voice echoed in the still night, but there was a slight tremor that betrayed his unease. One by one, the others followed, their initial bravado fading with each step. The bridge groaned under their weight, and the wind whistled through the gaps, making the journey even more daunting. The further they ventured onto the bridge, the more unstable it felt, swaying precariously with their combined weight. Each gust of wind made the structure shudder, and they clung to the handrails for support. Below them, the ravine yawned, a chasm of darkness that seemed to swallow the night. The depth was dizzying, and the thought of falling sent chills down their spines. As they neared the centre of the bridge, a sound pierced the stillness, a low, guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the shadows beneath them. It was a sound unlike anything they had ever heard, primal and menacing. Jessica gasped, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a scream. Her eyes were wide with terror, and she looked around frantically, trying to locate the source of the noise. "What was that?" David whispered, his voice tight with fear. The group huddled closer together, their earlier confidence now replaced with a palpable sense of dread. Section 5. Trapped in the moonlight. The night was still, the air thick with tension as the full moon cast an eerie glow over the landscape. The bridge, usually a symbol of connection, now felt like a trap, a place where shadows danced and whispered secrets. Before anyone could answer, the sound came again, closer this time, followed by the distinct sound of something heavy moving in the darkness below. It was a sound that sent shivers down their spines, a sound that spoke of danger lurking just out of sight. The group huddled together, their eyes scanning the shadows, their hearts pounding in their chests. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of the bridge seemed amplified in the silence of the night. They could feel the weight of the moonlight pressing down on them, making it hard to breathe. The moon chose that moment to emerge from behind a cloud, bathing the bridge in an eerie silver light. The sudden illumination revealed more of the shadows, but also made the darkness seem even more impenetrable. There, clinging to the underside of the bridge, was the creature. It was a sight that none of them would ever forget, a nightmare made flesh. It was everything the legends described and more. Its form was twisted and grotesque, a patchwork of nightmares stitched together. Its eyes, glowing like hot coals, locked onto them, and a low growl rumbled in its chest. The sound was deep and menacing, a promise of violence. Its claws scraped against the wooden beams, sending splinters raining down on them. Each scrape was a reminder of the creature's power, a warning of what it could do. Terror, raw and consuming, seized the group. They could feel it in their bones, a primal fear that told them to run, to escape. They were trapped, stranded in the middle of the bridge with a monster between them and safety. The realization hit them like a punch to the gut, leaving them breathless and desperate. "We have to get out of here!" Sarah screamed, her voice high-pitched and frantic. Her words broke the spell of silence, and the group knew they had to act fast, or they would be the creature's next victims. Section 6. The Monster's Gaze. The creature shifted its weight, and the bridge groaned in protest. It began to crawl along the underside of the bridge, moving with a horrifying speed towards the opposite end, its eyes never leaving their group. Mark, his bravado replaced by a cold, primal fear, grabbed Jessica's hand. "Run!" he shouted, and the group broke into a desperate sprint towards the far end of the bridge. The wooden planks rattled and swayed beneath their feet, threatening to send them plummeting into the darkness below. The creature reached the end of the bridge and, with a guttural roar, pulled itself up onto the tracks. It stood there for a moment, its silhouette stark against the moonlit sky, before turning its glowing eyes towards them. Section 7. A Desperate Escape. The sight of the monster fully revealed spurred the teenagers onward. They ran with every ounce of strength they possessed, their lungs burning, their legs screaming for respite. But the bridge seemed to stretch on forever, the opposite end tantalizingly out of reach. Behind them, they could hear the heavy thud of the creature's footsteps as it began to pursue them across the bridge. The sound of splintering wood filled the air as the creature, driven by some primal hunger, tore at the bridge in its wake. They were running out of time. Section 8. Forever Haunted. Mark, Jessica and David managed to scramble to safety, tumbling onto the solid ground at the edge of the woods, gasping for breath. They turned back to see Sarah, her foot caught between two railroad ties, struggling to free herself. The creature stood at the edge of the bridge, its eyes burning into her. It let out a deafening roar, a sound filled with rage and triumph. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the monster melted back into the shadows, leaving behind only the echo of its fury and the lingering scent of decay. Sarah was never seen again. Section 9, The Legend Lives On. The surviving friends carried the weight of that night with them, forever haunted by the memory of Sarah's screams and the creature's glowing eyes. They knew, deep in their hearts, that the Pope Lick monster was real, a nightmare made flesh. The old trestle bridge still stands, a silent sentinel guarding its dark secret. And though some dismiss the story of the Pope Lick monster as mere folklore, locals know better. They know that some legends are born of truth and some places are best left undisturbed. For the darkness that claimed Sarah that night still lurks in the shadows, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim.